Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you clicked on today's video. This is such an exciting and honestly one of my most anticipated videos ever on my channel. By the title, by the thumbnail, you guys already know what's happening in today's video, but I have finally built my dream at-home library. I'm so happy about it. For those of you who don't follow me over on Instagram, definitely go follow me on Instagram because I put a lot of updates over there, and I actually showed little updates of me building this and putting it together. But we recently moved like a week ago, I want to say. I think it's been a week since I have been in this new space. I am working on a little moving vlog right now. I filmed the whole moving process and I talk about why we're moving and all that good stuff, so definitely stay tuned for that video. But yeah, we moved in to a new place and I have my own little office, and I knew immediately before we even moved in that something I definitely really wanted when looking at new places was my own space to have my own little at-home library. It's been a dream of mine for so long, and if you guys have been with me for a while, you guys have probably seen me do other little dream library videos. I loved the setup of my library at our last place, but it wasn't really giving actual library vibes, if you know what I mean. Like, I wasn't getting the cozy library vibes that I envisioned. Being able to have a separate space where I have a ton of bookshelves filled with all my favorite books is just a dream, and I'm so happy about it. I'm so incredibly grateful that I'm able to do this. That's basically what this whole video is gonna be though. I didn't film me actually putting together these bookshelves because also, if you've been with me for a while, you've definitely seen my building skills in a few vlogs. This is already so easy, honestly. Wait. Okay, there's something I'm doing wrong. There's no way. Like, with these bent?
No.
Right? Am I missing something? I thought this piece literally had to like fit. Let's just forget that the last 30 seconds of my life didn't happen because that was embarrassing. They're not that great, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's really hard to watch me put things together. We're gonna jump back to last night, actually organizing them and decorating them. It was super fun. And then after that, I'm gonna give you guys a whole tour of it. We're gonna go shelf by shelf talking about the books I have and how I decided on how to arrange them and stuff like that. It's gonna be real fun. I'm really happy about how they turned out. I literally have these two shelves empty, and then this last bookshelf here is basically empty because I just don't have enough books, which is kind of exciting because that means there's just more room for more books. That's what today's video is going to be about. I'm so excited to take you guys along with me. Again, this has been a huge dream and vision of mine for the longest time. Even before I started doing booktube and book talk and all that stuff, I knew I always wanted my own little at-home library. But before we hop into my home library, I just want to say a quick thank you to BetterHelp for partnering with me in today's video. You guys already know I love BetterHelp. I talk about them all the time on my channel. I'm such a big advocate for mental health and taking care of yourself. I feel like it's perfect too because with it being the new year, we're all writing down our goals and New Year's resolutions for 2024, and I know at the top of my list, taking care of my mental health. It's right there. It's literally #1. If you're not familiar with BetterHelp though, they are the world's largest therapy service and they are 100% online, which I absolutely love. Being able to get therapy in the comfort of my own home instead of going into an unknown space, talking to a total stranger, I just feel so much more comfortable. And I've genuinely seen such a difference. I think BetterHelp is such a game changer when it comes to taking care of yourself and taking care of your mental health. And I actually have a discount for you guys. You can get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp if you go to betterhelp.com/AlexaRaye. With BetterHelp though, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists based on your needs, preferences, and location, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise than what may be available in your city. It's super easy to get started as well. You'll fill out a questionnaire that will ask you about what challenges you're going through and what kind of therapist you'd like. Then BetterHelp will match you with a therapist that best fits you. You're also able to message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. This is so huge because I know most people live very busy lives between work, school, family, etc. So the flexibility that comes with BetterHelp is so amazing in my opinion. Something else I also really appreciate with BetterHelp is that if you're not vibing with your therapist, you're able to switch at any time at no extra cost, and I think that's just so nice. With BetterHelp though, you get the same professionalism and quality that you'd expect to get in in-office sessions with a therapist that's custom picked to you, more schedule flexibility, and of course affordable pricing. So if you guys are interested in taking charge of your mental health in 2024, you can go to betterhelp.com/ booktube.com/AlexaRaye to get 10% off your first month. I'll have it linked down below for you guys. With that being said though, we are gonna hop right into the library. We're gonna jump back to last night when I started putting the shelves together, organizing them, decorating them. We're gonna go shelf by shelf together, and yeah, we're gonna have fun with it. Okay guys, so it's like 7 o'clock right now and we're actually going to start decorating the shelves, filling them up with all of my books. I am so very excited for it. I spent the beginning of today building 2 bookshelves. These 3 came with us from our last home. I'm really excited about this. It's literally going to be a little library, and I've always dreamed of having my own little library and having my own little office. Before we hop into it, I actually want to give you guys a little book haul because I got these books literally in the middle of us moving and I didn't get a chance to really sit down and talk to you guys about them, and they are absolutely stunning special editions. The first books I have are actually Fairy Loot special editions of the Twisted series. If you've been around for a while, you guys know I am obsessed with the series. It's a series I read back in 2022. I fell madly in love with it, and I still think about these characters and stories daily. But Fairy Loot came out with special editions of the books. They are absolutely stunning. Book 1 also came signed by the author, which I thought was so cool. But I originally joined Fairy Loot for these special editions as well as the special edition of Ruthless Vows. I was so excited when I was able to get my hands on these. I just think they're gonna look so beautiful on the shelves. I don't know how I'm gonna display them just yet. Like I said, I love these sprayed edges. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll have to figure that out. But I also love the spine. The spines are also gorgeous. Following those, I got the special edition book set of the Shadow and Bone series, and these are from Owl Crate. The edges of these are absolutely stunning. I'm living for them. There's gorgeous foiling on the inside of each one. Kind of correlates with each story. But then there's also reverse dust jackets, which I'm absolutely living for. I think Owl Crate did an incredible job with the entire design of them. And then last but not least, 2 of these books I've actually already shared with you guys in previous videos, but we have Love Theoretically and Check and Mate by Miss Allie Hazelwood. These are the Illuma Crate special editions. They are absolutely stunning. I love the artwork of these books so much. I just think they're so beautiful, and I just love the characters and the design. I think it's so cute. I was able to finally get my hands on the Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain copies. I never thought I was going to be able to get my hands on these, and I'm just so happy that I was able to. This is what they look like. Absolutely stunning. The Love Hypothesis is still one of my favorite books. Those are the new books that I actually got in the middle of moving. The whole moving process was kind of crazy, guys, not gonna lie. We thought it was going to be the easiest move ever, but it was low-key like one of the hardest because we moved in the middle of a snowstorm and it was just so crazy. It was cold, it was hectic, but I'm happy that we finally made it and we're here, and now we're gonna decorate my new bookshelves, and I'm so excited about it. I don't know if you guys know what this is or if you've seen this on TikTok. It's a library scanner. Recently, I saw this kind of pop up on TikTok a lot, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need this library scanner. So it's super easy to use too. It literally comes with a little flash drive, and all you do is you hook it in to your computer, then you can start scanning your books. And I've already spent some time scanning in as many books as I could. It's just so fun and cute, and I feel like a librarian, and it's amazing. So that's enough of my rambling. We are going to jump right into decorating my shelves. I'm gonna get the books organized, and then we're gonna start popping them on the shelves. I also have to find all my little bookshelf decor because I feel like that's kind of scattered around as well. Look how cute this is. I got this during the holidays, part of, I think, Afterlight. It's the cutest little book puzzle. I cannot wait to put this together and maybe hang it on one of the walls in here. So I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna start with this bookshelf, and it's basically going to be like my romance shelf. I'm going to have a lot of open space in here because I feel like I don't have a lot of books or enough books to actually fill up all of these shelves right now. But I think on this one it's gonna be my fantasy shelf, which I'm really excited to decorate. But we're gonna start with these two right now. The good thing is with having so much extra space to kind of work with, I can kind of put some of the like special editions on display. Probably just mess around with it until we get it to a point that I like. Okay guys, so I just finished up doing our first little bookshelf here. I'm not gonna give you guys a full tour right now. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow morning to do it, but I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out so far. The only thing I have switched up so far, because I feel like I'm going to be like moving things around throughout this whole video, is I ended up switching out the Eden series for this series just because it goes with the rest of these books. This is like my Elsie Silver shelf, and I totally forgot I had her other series until I was like going through all the books and boxes. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this end shelf, we're gonna turn it into a romance bookshelf as well. That's gonna be the next thing we tackle. We're gonna keep rolling with the romances, and then we're gonna roll into these other three shelves. I am so excited to do the fantasy shelves, guys. I think there's definitely gonna be 2 of them at least. We'll see how it goes. And I feel like the last bookshelf is gonna be a little empty. I'm gonna put my thrillers and mysteries on there, but I don't have a lot, so we'll see how that goes when we get there. But like I said, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna turn this one into a second romance shelf. I'm so happy with how this first one turned out. I'm like literally in awe. Okay guys, so we just finished up the second bookshelf, my second little romance bookshelf. I feel like it started off really strong. It was looking cute, it was looking good, but I was definitely like struggling on deciding like where I wanted certain books. This middle shelf I'm pretty content with. These are just like my dark romances. And then as we keep going down, it just kind of looks like books. Just like books and books and books. There's nothing really decorative about those 3 shelves. And I can't decide if I like them or not. Like, I don't know. I basically don't feel content with how that looks because I kind of feel like it looks like messy in a way. But at the same time, I feel like it looks cute and cozy and like a little home library. So I can't decide. We can revisit that later on maybe. We are gonna move on to shelf number 3. I already have some ideas on what I want to do with it, but it's going to be my little fantasy shelf. I'm so excited. I have so many amazing fantasy books that I can't wait to display on here. So we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna start decorating it. Like the rest of these books are all fantasy books, so I feel like they may take up 2 shelves. And we're back to real time. So you guys saw last night me going through the books and organizing them, decorating the shelves, and now we are here. I'm gonna give you guys a full in-depth bookshelf tour. I'm gonna show you guys every single book I own. I'm gonna show you guys how I organize them, why I organize them the way that I did, and kind of just take you through like the whole process. Hopefully this gives you ideas and inspo for your own at-home library. That's why I love doing these videos, because I also love watching them. I love watching and seeing how other people decorate and organize their books. I just think it's really fun. Hopefully this gives you guys a little inspo for your own little libraries. And yeah, we're gonna hop right into it. I'm gonna take you guys shelf by shelf, kind of just walk you through like my thought process with it. We are gonna hop right into it. I'm so happy, guys. I feel like I keep saying how happy I am throughout this entire video, but that's just like how I feel right now. I'm genuinely so happy and excited to share my bookshelves with you guys. Bookshelf number one. This one started off strong, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of just got a little messy towards the end, but that's mainly because I just have a ton of random romance standalones. We'll get to that when we get to that, but I'm just thinking back to all of the other bookshelf tours I've done on my channel, and they usually are like super zoomed in on my face, so we're gonna try and keep it a little bit more natural in this video. But we start off with the Eden series by Devney Perry. I knew going into this shelf that I wanted to display Icebreaker and Wildfire because these are special editions from Probably Smut, and just love these covers so much. I think they're absolutely stunning. They're just so cute and cozy. If you're not familiar, they are hockey romances. My thought process for this shelf gets a little wild because I would have liked to put those two books with my other hockey romances, but those are on shelf number 2 and they kind of fit with other books. So these ones I decided to squeeze in on this shelf. Wildfire takes place during the summer, so I thought it kind of went with the Eden series. My thought process was like cozy summer vibes kind of go with the Eden. In my head, it makes more sense. In the middle here, we have To Love Jason Thorne, To Hate Adam Connor, and then Charlie, Love, and Cliches. These are by Ella Mays. I have not read them yet, but they are absolutely stunning. I love these spines. Then, because I said Wildfire is like a cozy summer romance, we immediately jump into summer romances. I don't know why these aren't like all of my summer romances, but I just put them there because I thought they fit the best. So we have The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, then we have Every Summer After and Meet Me at the Lake, and then we have Love and Gelato. I just thought it looked cute right there. Then we move on to shelf number 2. We have the OG Archer's Voice. I talk about it all the time on my channel. If you have been around, you have definitely heard me talk about Archer's Voice, and I think it's so cute because a lot of people will actually make little Instagram posts about me, and they'll always say that like my book is Archer's Voice, and it makes me so happy that so many of you associate that book with me because that's how much I talk about it on my channel. So we have the OG version here. This is super annotated. It's my favorite book of all time. Next to it, we have an annotated special edition, and this one is so cool because there's actually annotations in it from Mia Sheridan herself, and it's so cool because as you're reading the book, you get to see kind of her thought process of writing what she wrote, her thought process through the characters and the storyline, and it's just really, really cool. It gives you like a different perspective on the whole story. Then we get into Christina Lauren books. We have Love and Other Words, The Unhoneymooners, and Dating You, Hating You. I love Love and Other Words. The Unhoneymooners and Dating You and Hating You is like, okay, they're not like my favorite, but I just love Love and Other Words, and I wanted to put it with Archer's Voice because I also read that book very close to Archer's Voice, and I remember really loving the two together. Then we have Part of Your World and Yours Truly. Then next to it, I just have this cute little picture of Chris and I. It says love at the bottom. This is a cutie little picture from the Disney Boardwalk. And then I have this cutie little Polaroid here that is so old. I think it's like 2018, 2019 us. Now we're moving on to my dark romance shelf. Last year was the year I started really getting into them, and I actually have some really great ones. So starting off, we have the Brutal Birthright. I look ridiculous. I don't think I can make it better. Okay, so we're gonna make it work. Anyways, we have the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I tackled this series last year. It is so much fun. Then we have Severed by Vengeance. This is like a Probably Smut special edition book. I haven't read it just yet. I actually don't know what these books are called. The Four Horsemen series. I picked these up randomly at Barnes. So you have Pestilence, War, Famine, and Death. Maybe I saw it on Book Talk. I find a lot of weird stuff on Book Talk, to be honest. Then we have Dark Succession and Twisted Secrets. Then underneath we have The Sweetest Oblivion, The Maddest Obsession, and The Darkest Temptation. Then we have the Never After novels by Emily McIntyre. I'm obsessed with it. They are dark fairy tale reimaginings. Book 1 is a Peter Pan reimagining. Book 2 is a Lion King reimagining. Wretched is actually a Wizard of Oz reimagining, which I wasn't too crazy about. I grew up loving The Wizard of Oz, but that book specifically just was not it for me for some reason. Twisted is an Aladdin reimagining, and then Crossed is a Hunchback of Notre Dame reimagining, and I'm not kidding you when I say Crossed had me in a chokehold last August. I remember it was the middle of August, I was reading it, and it had me a chokehold. I was so obsessed with that book. I always say that if you're into dark romances, if you are a huge Disney fan, and if you're always rooting for the villains, that series is for you. You will eat it up. This is kind of when things get a little crazy, and they're just like a bunch of random romances. Starting off strong, we have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I hear incredible things about this book. Very intimidated though, because it's such a big book. Then we have A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime and Things I Wanted to Say, both by Monica Murphy. Then we have the Beyond the Play series. We have First Down, Breakaway, and Stealing Home. These are by Grace Riley. Then we have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I hear really good things about it, but again, the size of this book, a little intimidating, so I haven't tackled it just yet. Then we have Tempt Our Fate and Rewrite Our Story. Then we have Say You Swear by Megan Brandy, The Bodyguard by Catherine Senner, The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hong, The Spanish Deception by Elena Armas, X's and O's by Amy Lee. I really want to read this during Valentine's Day because I think it's like a Valentine's Day romance. Then we have Emily Henry books, People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read, and Book Lovers. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I'm actually hoping to tackle this book this month. Then we have Good Girl Complex and Bad Girl Reputation. These are by Elle Kennedy. Then we have Tell Me Three Things. Moving on to this shelf, it's another shelf of kind of random romances. It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker. Then we have The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, As Seen on TV by Meredith Score, Third Basement by Lulu Moore. I got sent this, I think, in the spring of last year, and I'm so excited to read that book during baseball season. We have A Little Taste and A Little Twist. These are by Tia Louise. We have From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I wanted to place this book with The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, but my thought process for the way I organized these two shelves is I wanted the books to be at the exact same height. That's why I put this book down here and The Wall of Winnipeg of Me up here. Then we have Where I Belong, When I Fall by J. Daniels, Small Town Cutie Little Romances, In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. I hear such good things about this. I have to read it this year. On the Shore by Laura Pavlov, and Someday by Willow Astor. Then we have Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This is actually a collector's edition. It's the 10-year anniversary of this book, and it's one of my favorite books that I actually own. It's absolutely stunning. It's also a book that kind of got me back into reading romances. Then we have One in Rome by Sarah Adams, Pride and Premeditation, The Hating Game, The Way I Used to Be, and If He Had Been With Me. Then we have our bottom shelf, You've Reached Sam, another sad book, Recipe for Second Chances, Go Hex Yourself, Love in the Time of Serial Killers. We have some Taylor Jenkins Reid books here, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Malibu Rising, and Daisy Jones and the Six. I would eventually really like to put The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo somewhere on display on my shelves just because it's one of my favorite books. We have Playing Hard to Get by Monica Murphy. This is another cutie little football romance. And then we have the first three books in the Bridgerton series. Last but not least, for this shelf, we have a cutie little basket here. These hold all of the books by her. We have her newest one, which is Never. I think this is a Peter Pan retelling, and I can't wait to read this. We have Magnolia Parks, Daisy Hates and the Great Undoing, and then Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home. I've read the first two books in this series, and I absolutely adored them. That is basically it for shelf number 1. I feel like there's still a lot I can really do with it, especially as I get more books down the line and fill up the other shelf. Moving on to romance bookshelf number 2. This is probably my favorite bookshelf. This shelf holds like all of my all-time favorite romance books. We have some really beautiful special editions on this shelf, and it also holds like all of my favorite romance authors. So starting up top, we have Lauren Asher and Lucy Score. First up, we have Love Redesigned. This is book 1 in her newest series. Then we have the Dirty Air series, Throttled, Collided, Wrecked, and Redeemed. Ate that series up. It's about F1 drivers falling in love. It was so much fun. I'd never read anything about F1 before, and I didn't know a lot going into this series, but afterwards I definitely had like a new love for it, which was really cool. Then we have the Dreamland Billionaire series, the fine print, terms and conditions, and the final offer. I ate that series up, guys. It is so incredible. It's another series where if you love Disney, if you love Disney World, going to theme parks, this series is perfect for you because it actually takes place in a place called Dreamland, and it's essentially a play off of Disney World, and it's just so much fun. And then on top of it, I have this cutie little Jane Austen candle. I got this as a graduation gift. It smells so good. I haven't burned it yet. I don't want to get rid of it ever. Then we have Lucy Score's Knock 'em Out series. We have Things We Never Got Over, Things We Hide from the Light, and Things We Left Behind. And then right next to it, I put this cutie little picture frame. I found this randomly for like $3 at HomeGoods, so I had to pick it up, of course. And I decided to pop in a little wedding picture of Chris and I, and we actually took some of our pictures at a library. So I feel like it was so fitting. Then we have shelf number 2. This is one of my favorite authors. It's one of my favorite book series. We have the Twisted series. I love the Twisted series. I ate up every single book for some reason. This set right here is actually my Fairy Loot special edition. Gorgeous edges. Each book is absolutely stunning in its own way. Then we have a hardcover edition of Twisted Love. This is also signed by the author. We get into my normal paperback books of the Twisted series. These are the OGs. These are the copies I annotated. Then we get into her Kings of Sin series. This is like her newest series that she's been writing. King of Wrath, King of Pride, and King of Greed. And then I have King of Pride and King of Greed again. But these are like the Barnes & Noble special editions. My pride and joy. I love this shelf so much, especially these books. Moving on to my small town cowboy romance shelf. This is my Elsie Silver shelf. Another author I discovered last year and I fell madly in love with. She is the author of the Chestnut Spring series. That series made me fall in love with small town trope, with country aesthetic, cowboy aesthetic. Right here are the OG copies that I bought off of Amazon. These are like the indie mirror special edition copies. Each cover has a different shaped mirror and then like this really cool cowboy aesthetic to them. And then right here are the brand new Bloom editions that are rolling out. I think both editions are absolutely stunning in their own way. And then on top here, I just have this cutie little heart candle that also smells absolutely amazing. Then we have this little sculpture dude here. He actually is like a little pen holder, and I put a ton of book highlighters in there, as well as this cutie little rose that Chris got me when we started dating. Then we have another series by Elsie Silver that's actually connected to the Chestnut Springs world. Their sister or their cousin is in this series. I forget exactly who it is, but this series takes place in the same universe as the Chestnut Springs series, and I'm very excited to tackle it this year. So truly this shelf just keeps getting better and better. It holds all of my favorite authors, like I said. So this is my Allie Hazelwood shelf. She is another one of my favorite romance authors. She is an author that really got me back into romance as well. Right here are the Book of the Month editions of her books. We have the Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, Love Theoretically, and Check and Mate. Then we go in to the Lumacrate special editions of these books. I love these books so much. They are absolutely stunning. I love this artwork style. And then on the back of each book, a cute little picture of the main characters. These are just so stunning in my opinion. The edges are also absolutely gorgeous. And we're moving on to a very large series. We have the Addicted and Callaway series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. And we have the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy, as well as the Briar U series. And then we have the normal cover slash editions of Icebreaker and Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Then on the very bottom here, of course, we have a Coho shelf. Coho was everything at the beginning of my booktube booktube, I read so many Colleen Hoover books. These are all the books that I actually really enjoyed by Colleen Hoover. Obviously, I have grown so much as a reader and things have changed over the past 2 years, so I'd really like to go back and reread these, see if anything has changed for me, if my opinions change, if my ratings change on them. But these are all my favorite ones by her. We have Reminders of Him, Confess, Regretting You, Ugly Love, All Your Perfects, November 9th, Hopeless, Losing Hope, It Ends With Us, and It Starts With Us. Then I have a special edition of It Ends With Us, as well as a special collector's edition of Verity. And then right next to it, I just have this cutie little vase to kind of take up the empty space. So those are my 2 romance shelves, the 2 shelves that hold all my favorite romances, basically. Moving on, we're now hitting, if not my favorite shelf, definitely a close second. It is my fantasy shelf that is holding all of my favorite fantasy books, or my most anticipated fantasy books of 2024. So starting off on the top shelf, we have none other but the Shatter Me series by Tara Maffei. I tackled this series last year. I absolutely loved it so much. It's an incredible and super fast-paced dystopian YA read. So this is the complete series, and then right next to it I have a signed hardcover edition of the first book, which is so crazy that I have that. Then next to it I have a special edition of The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and then right next to it I have The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, and Queen of Nothing, the OG trilogy. Moving on to shelf number 2, these books but basically, this is my Rebecca Ross shelf. Right here we have A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless. I have this cutie little vase on top. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but I actually have these cute little artwork pieces that are behind it, and these are actually the 2 main characters of Divine Rivals. So right here we have Divine Rivals. This is the Fairy Loot Special Edition. One of the prettiest books I own by far. Everything about this book is absolutely stunning. I love the inside pages. I think it's just so cute. This was one of my favorite books of 2023. It was actually tied for first with Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Right next to it we have Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. These are like the normal editions, and then right next to it is the Owl Crate special edition of Divine Rivals. I'm also so obsessed with this one. I love the cover of this one just because it's the typewriter from the book, and then on the back of it, it has one of the most beautiful quotes from the story, in my opinion. Divine Rivals is one of my favorite books of 2023. I could not recommend it enough if you haven't read it yet. Moving on to shelf number 3. This is my Sarah J. Maas bookshelf. It holds all of her books, which is so many books. Last year I tackled the ACOTAR series, which is right here. Loved this series so much. My goal for this year is to tackle the Throne of Glass series. This series is massive. These books are massive books. Nervous and intimidated for sure with it, but also really excited and super intrigued because so many people say that they actually love this series more than ACOTAR. Right next to it I have the Crescent City series. Book 3 of this series is actually coming out literally in a few days, and that's kind of what the hype is right now. Everyone is talking about book 3. And then right on top of these books I have this adorable little mushroom candle. This is the cutest candle I think I own, to be honest. Moving on to shelf number 4. This is my Stephanie Garber shelf. She is another author that I fell madly in love with last year. Last year was such an incredible reading year, guys. If you haven't seen my last video, definitely go check it out. I talk about every single book I read in 2023. It was an incredible reading year. I'm not even kidding. I found so many incredible authors. I fell in love with so many of them, so many new stories and characters, and it was amazing. And Stephanie Garber was definitely one of them. So we have the Once Upon a Broken Heart series here. It's one of my favorite fantasy series to come out of 2023. These right here are the Barnes & Noble special editions, and they're also signed by the author. But these right here are actually the UK covers, and I love them so much. I honestly am more of a fan of the UK covers over the US covers, just because I love how detailed the covers are. The artwork is beautiful. They're super colorful. They're there's also just like little hints throughout the pictures that correlate with the stories, and I love it so much. I just think they're so beautiful, and even the backs of them are absolutely stunning. I love the quotes, and then the hardcovers themselves are just so beautiful and detailed. Right next to it, I have the Caraval series, which is actually part of the same universe as the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and most people say that you're supposed to read Caraval before jumping into this series. I did not. I think it's okay if you just want to jump into this series, honestly, but I do understand some people saying that you should read Caraval first just because you might spoil a few minor things reading this series. So take that into account if you're looking to get into this universe this year. And then I have this cute little like book person. I got this for Christmas from Chris's grandma, but it's literally like a little person reading a book. This shelf is definitely going to change over time, I already know, but we have Throne of the Fallen and the Kingdom of the Wicked series. This is by Carrie Maniscalco. I hear really good things about this series, and I'm really excited to jump into it this year. And then these are also the Barnes & Noble special editions. Then next to it, I have Aragon and Murtagh. This is the newest installment of the Inheritance Cycle series. Big Aragon girly growing up, guys. And then right next to it, I have Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I love this book so much. If you have not read it yet, I highly recommend. And then right here on the bottom is actually very random. It's all hardcover books for the most part. We have Happy Place by Emily Henry, The 5-Star Weekend, Hello Stranger, The Family Game, You Again, The Wife Upstairs, I'm Glad My Mom Died, The Wishing Game, The Key to My Heart, Spells for Forgetting, What Lies in the Woods, The Stranger Upstairs, Romantic Comedy, Butcher and Blackbird, The Magician's Daughter, The Fury, and This Spells Love. Now moving on to bookshelf number 4. This is like my second fantasy shelf, but it also kind of morphs into like some other stuff. But right up here is the Harry Potter shelf. Of course, we have the first 3 books that are actually like the pop-up versions, and they are absolutely stunning. I can't wait to collect them all, but these are like the pop-up read-alongs, and it's absolutely stunning. There's like a lot of pages that you interact with, and they're just so stunning, the illustrations in these. I have the first 3 books in that series. I don't think book 4 is out yet. Then we have the OG paperbacks, and then I have 2 cutie little mini Funko sets that are actually Harry Potter themed. Chris's sister got me these for Christmas, and absolutely perfect for my little Harry Potter shelf. And then right next to it, I just have this custom book that I got for Christmas, and it's actually our wedding day. Moving on to shelf number 2, we're jumping into the Lee Bardugo shelf. We have Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Then next to it, I have the Shadow and Bone series, but these are actually special editions from Owl Crate, and everything about these are absolutely stunning. The details that go into some of these special edition books, I'm just in awe. And then right in front of them, I just have my little replica perfume. Then next to these books, we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Eventually, once I get book 2 and the novella that's coming out, I ultimately want to have a Lauren Roberts shelf, just because Powerless was one of my favorite books of 2023. It was tied for first with Divine Rivals, and I really want to give it its own shelf to kind of display it on. But just because I only have the 1 book right now, I decided to put it on this shelf. Next to it, we have Dreams Lie Beneath. This is also by Rebecca Ross, and I would really like to add it to this shelf eventually, but for the time being, it just goes really nice there. Then we have Foxglove, Nightwing, and The Serpent of the Wings of Night. Moving on to shelf number 3, we have, of course, we have Fourth Wing, guys. Are you surprised? This is the OG edition, then this is the special edition. Then next to it, we have Iron Flame. Then I kind of just started going into all of my special edition fantasy books from Owl Crate, Fairy Loot, stuff like that. Darling House, The Dark Descent, What the River Knows, The Unmaking of June Farrow. This is a different edition of What the River Knows. And then next to it, I have my little Pokemon. We have an Eevee plushie. We have an Eevee and a little Pokeball, which this is actually so cute. This is like a super retro little toy from the 90s, and Chris got it for me. And then he also got me this custom anniversary card, and it's a Pokemon card, but it's custom to us, and it's honestly the cutest thing because he had our own little characters made, but then he also had our favorite Pokemon made on it, and I just think this is like the cutest thing. So I have my little Pokemon stuff there just because it's so cute. Then moving on to this bottom shelf, we're still rolling with the special edition books, and then it kind of gets into other fantasy books that I haven't read yet, but I'm super excited to read this year. We have Midnight Strikes, Hotel Magnifique, Thief, Midnight at the Houdini, To Kill a Shadow, A Study in Drowning, After the Forest. And then we have Dance of Thieves and Bow of Thieves. I hear these are really, really good fantasies. I definitely want to tackle them this year. Then I have A Darker Shade of Magic. Was kind of skeptical about this series at first, and I didn't know if it was something I was gonna like. Then I did some research on it, and it actually sounds really, really interesting. Then we have Born of Starlight and Heir of Broken Fate. These got sent to me by the authors as well. They sound so good. I cannot wait to read those. Trial of the Sun Queen and Rule of the Aurora King, another series that sounds absolutely amazing. Wicked by Jennifer Armentrout. This is a book I've had on my TBR for the longest time. I have to push myself to read it. As Old as Time is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and then Daughter of the Pirate King. This one sounds so fun because it's supposed to be like the same vibes and idea of Pirates of the Caribbean, which I absolutely loved growing up. Instead of Jack Sparrow, you have like the female version of him, and I feel like I'm gonna love that. We have the mystery thriller shelf. There's not a lot here because I don't own a lot of mystery thrillers, but we have all of 2024 to add on to it. On the first shelf here, we have the Inheritance Games series. I actually just got this special edition of the Inheritance Games. Look at these edges. This is just so cool, in my opinion. I'm so happy I was able to get my hands on this. So then we have the Hawthorne Legacy, the Final Gambit, and the Brothers Hawthorne. Then we have the cutie little sculpture again. And then next to him, we have a Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, as well as Five Survive, which is like one of her newer books from last year. These are all of my mystery thriller books, my spooky books, I guess you could say. And I tell you guys that during like October and spooky season, I'm going to read all these books, and I never do. So I'm gonna stop saying that, and maybe it will actually happen this year, but these are all my mystery thriller books. We have Luckiest Girl Alive, which I actually saw the Netflix film first with Mila Kunis, fell in love with it, and then I saw it as a book, and I was like, I need to get that book and read it. Then we have The Silent Patient, The Society for Soulless Girls, The Lake, The Twin, We Were Liars, Family of Liars, One of Us is Lying, One of Us is Next, The Paris Apartment, and The Perfect Marriage. I hear literally all of these books are absolutely incredible. I just have to get there, you know? Next to it, I have a cutie little relaxing candle, and then this was something I actually got for Christmas, and it's so cool. It's basically like a Sherlock's Holmes puzzle, and they're shaped as cutie little books. Moving down, as you can see, the books are becoming very scarce here. We have my Jane Austen set. These hold all of the Jane Austen classics. Then we have the William Shakespeare set, holds all of the classics that I know and love. These two books I got very, very long time ago. I'm studying English, and I was taking Old English and all this stuff, so these books have really been through a lot with me. Then we have The Great Gatsby. This is like a cool special edition I got last year. There's illustrations in it. Then I have a super old copy of Pride and Prejudice. On top, I have this cutie little love poem book. It's filled with classic poems, and it was a gift from Chris. Another one of the cutest things that I have ever been given. And then on top of it is actually just my little TBR jar. Right next to it, this gorgeous Jane Austen flower vase. That's where she is for now until the springtime and until I bring flowers home. Then honestly, down here, we don't have too much going on. As you can see, some random stuff, but we have The Birthday List and Coach by Devaney Perry. I hear these are both really, really good. Then I have Love Me, One Last Shot, and Unstable. These are like 3 newer books that were just sent to me by the authors. And then this is just like random stuff right now. And then down here, these are my reading journals and a little binder of all my Eevee Pokemon cards. So something else I also have for Christmas that I am so excited to build and put on the shelves is this adorable little book nook. This is what it looks like. And basically I start from scratch and I get to build it, and I am so excited. It literally comes with like the little wiring and everything, so it's gonna light up. It's gonna be so much fun. That is it for my at-home library. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. Like I mentioned, there's definitely going to be a few things that change as time goes on. There's books I'm going to be adding, there's books I'm going to be rearranging and stuff like that. But for the most part, this is pretty exciting for me to have like a little at-home library. Again, I hope this video gives you inspo for your own at-home libraries, gives you inspo on how you want to organize your bookshelves, or maybe it just motivates you to reorganize them and maybe do a little unhauling of books. I'm constantly unhauling books when it comes to doing these types of videos. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you got got this far, comment down below the cutie little teddy bear emoji. It's my favorite emoji. And then also let me know what your favorite bookshelf out of this entire video was. I think mine is definitely the romance bookshelf. Bookshelf number 2 is definitely my favorite. With all that being said though, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.